First things first, you're gonna need one of these to start off.
Seen this Sprite commercial? The genius behind the cool special effects is Robert Sharp and his company DigiEffects. Sharp recovered the company 3 years ago from near bankruptcy.
It's just being patient and persistent and just, showing up to work is probably 90% of it.
Well, the man must have never called out sick because now business is booming.
We develop special effects software. We have about 30,000 customers all over the world. Half of them are outside of the United States and include some of the biggest brands in the media and entertainment business.
The problem is, he doesn't usually know who's using his special effects.
We ask them, we ask the big movie studios, was it used in this? Was it used in Avatar? And they'll never tell us. That's like their secret sauce. They never will tell us.
And if he blinks his eye in a film, he may miss his masterpiece.
It's a little hard in movies because a movie is 2 hours, and our effect may have been used for 1 second, or even less than a second, a frame. But with a commercial, you can tend, particularly sports, and commercials and beer commercials that tend to have a lot of sort of flair and effects. They'll use it for, let's say, a 30-second commercial. They'll use it maybe for half that commercial, so it's a little more apparent.
One of his biggest claims to fame just took off a few weeks ago.
Adobe launched the new version of Creative Suite 5. Adobe's a $3 billion company, and Creative Suite makes up like 55% of their revenue, and they just licensed a DigiEffects product as part of Creative Suite. So that's a really big win for DigiEffects.
Another DigiEffects software package called Damage can make this Steve Miller Band video look like an old movie. Sharp is even responsible for creating Edius, the editing software we use every day to bring you the news. This California tech whiz is proud of his award and happy to be stationed in the port city.
We're creating very unique software. We're selling this software all around the world, and it's being all created locally. And so I'm very proud of the award, and I'm proud of my staff here that we were able to accomplish this.
In Wilmington, Haley Winslow, WWAY News Channel 3.
Unlike Bill Gates, who because of his love of programming dropped out of college to start Microsoft, Robert Sharp, with his knowledge of Japanese and a lukewarm interest in East Asian history, dropped out of college to go on into the construction business. When he single-handedly essentially trashed a historic and very expensive Washington, D.C. Georgetown brownstone, and then spent the next year and basically every penny that he had fixing it back up for the owners, Robert decided to go back to school and seek his fortune in a less dangerous and risky field. After another less than spectacular experience selling prison-manufactured denim products in Japan in the late 90s, Robert found himself in California, standing on the sidelines as the technology industry was being born in Silicon Valley. His reaction to the fortunes that he saw being made was that the world had passed him by. He felt he had totally missed the boat on the technology revolution and, at 24 years old, had totally wasted his life. But you can't keep a good entrepreneur down, and Robert soon found himself in the running for a VP of international sales position at a technology startup by making outrageous promises on how much of the Japanese market he could deliver in just 3 months. And when Robert actually got that job and proceeded to far exceed his own outrageous forecasts, nobody was more surprised than Robert Sharp. But not really. Robert soon rose to become one of the key players at this new business, and his career as a technology entrepreneur was born. In early 2000, however, he took note of the irrational exuberance in the tech market, and after his first company was sold and he had started another, for the next 5 years, horror of horrors, Robert worked as a regular employee at a real job for a real company. Not surprisingly, Robert did very well and learned a lot, but by the middle of the decade, that company was sold for a lot of money, and as just a regular employee, despite having created millions of dollars of value for the sellers, Robert got nothing. At that point, Robert vowed that this was not going to happen to him again. So Robert bought DigiEffects, a video special effects software developer and marketer, and moved to Wilmington, at which point, as we know, the economy basically blew up. Yet despite this fact, DigiEffects is poised to possibly triple its sales this year. More importantly for Wilmington, however, is the fact that what Robert originally conceived of as a totally outsourced business model, where all intellectual firepower would essentially be rented on an as-needed basis from faraway countries where English is not spoken with a Southern accent, has evolved into a local enterprise which has ensconced itself in a beautiful downtown law space and dedicated itself to using local talent and resources and encouraging technology education and entrepreneurship as part of its business model. I asked Robert point blank if the talent here was as good as the Stanford and Berkeley educated talent in Silicon Valley. Without batting an eye, Robert immediately answered that it was every bit as good. Plus, the people here are much nicer and easier to work with, and of course, much less expensive. In fact, he is counting on the local talent to drive DigiEffects' success. DigiEffects is doing quite well today, but is poised to do much, much better tomorrow and in the years to come. And if we can just make sure to keep Robert away from the hammers and power tools, when DigiEffects does achieve the success for which I know it is destined, that success will make all of Wilmington proud, for it indeed is the Team Wilmington effort and an outgrowth of the many talented and entrepreneurial Wilmingtonians. Wilmington is lucky to have Robert Sharp, and I am proud to present him as the winner of the Technology Coastal Entrepreneur of the Year. Thank you.
Good morning. The last time I won an award, I was 10 years old. I won the Pinewood Derby. And let's just hope another 30 years doesn't go by until my next award. First and foremost, I would like to thank my wife. I have been driving her absolutely insane for 17 years with my behavior. And actually, she is now an entrepreneur. She started a company last year called Buena Sustainable Communities, and she is now absolutely driving me insane. And I think that's just the nature of being an entrepreneur. I appreciate being here and everyone really recognizing us, but we can be annoying. We can be very annoying to be around, but that's just the beauty. The second thanks really goes to Wilmington, to everyone in Wilmington, to the community. And Fred touched on this. I moved here 3 years ago from San Francisco. And I was 3 weeks away from going to India to set up an R&D center. We would have development there, programming, even design. And I happened to go to lunch with a couple of professors from UNCW, computer science department and film studies department. I told them, I said, I'm going to India. I said, why? And, I told them why I'm setting up this facility. They said, give our kids a chance here. And I said, great. I cancel. I mean, I love India. It's a great culture, but I don't want to go there every 6 weeks. I said, fantastic. I canceled the trip, and immediately I started sourcing my employees from the university. At that point, there were just a couple of us. I had just bought the company out of near bankruptcy. Now fast forward, we've got at roughly 10 employees, all based here in Wilmington. And I'm here to tell you today that coming from, I'm someone who came up in Silicon Valley, that Wilmington has been a mecca for a high-tech startup. It has been absolutely a privilege to build the business here. And a company like ours, I mean, we make products that are used by media and entertainment companies worldwide. And a company like ours can absolutely compete against Boston or New York or San Francisco. Everything that they do in those areas we can do here in Wilmington. And so I thank the city of Wilmington, the people of Wilmington. And when people ask me, what is your competitive advantage, the first thing I point to is Wilmington, the people, the university, the community. And I'm very honored to be a part of it now. Thank you.